New Year's Eve is the absolute worst holiday. Everyone knows this. Here's something interesting. 2018 is over. We made it to 2019. Hooray for us. Or something. It's worth revisiting the year that was, and in the finest tradition of the most important time in all of our lives, I'm of course talking about high school. I'm handing out some 2018 superlatives. Let's do this. Best performance by someone running in 2020 who pretended they are not running in 2020. Amy Klobuchar. Now, one of the most delightful dances, in modern politics is this. People who are running for president pretend they haven't made up their mind about running for president. Take, for example, John Kasich, who told a radio host in November that he doesn't have a, quote, burning desire to be president, end quote, but he does have a, quote, burning desire to make a difference for our country. Cool story, bro. Or Bernie Sanders, who delivered this humble brag, quote, if there's somebody else who appears who can, for whatever reason, do a better job than me, I'll work my ass off to elect him or her. If it turns out that I am the best candidate to beat Donald Trump, then I will probably run. I bet Bernie's really looking hard for that other person. But the winner of this year's point superlative is Minnesota's Amy Klobuchar, whose longtime political operative gave her hometown paper this gem of a statement, quote, many people have approached Amy about running for president, but right now she is still thanking people who helped her lead a major winning ticket in Minnesota. She's still very busy thanking people for her last victory. She can't be busy with this next victory. Best campaign ad, a literal dumpster fire. It was a little on the nose here by Democratic Minnesota Senate candidate Richard Painter, but somehow still quite fitting for 2018. Now, Painter didn't win his Senate race, but he won something, our point award, with a prize of absolutely nothing. Well deserved. Best Oval Office visitors, the Kardashian Wests. West Kardashians? Reality TV star Kim Kardashian, never heard of her, met with Donald Trump and other senior advisors in May to advocate on behalf of low-level drug offender Alice Marie Johnson, who had served 21 years in prison. A week later, Trump commuted her sentence. That girl gets results. Not to be outdone, ever, her husband, Kanye West, made his own trip to the Oval Office in October, presumably also to talk about prison reform. This time, though, cameras were in the room and rolling. The rapper delivered a 10-minute soliloquy on, there was hydrogen planes, alternative universes, 13th Amendment.
Something about when I put this hat on, it made me feel like Superman. You made a Superman, that's my favorite superhero, and you made a Superman cape.
It was unreal. So it's a tie, Kardashian and West. But really, let's be honest, Kanye won. Hydrogen planes. Best loss that was actually a win. Robert Beto O'Rourke. Now, the breakout star of the political year didn't actually, win anything. But Beto O'Rourke's 2-point loss to Senator Ted Cruz in the red state of Texas transformed him from a very little-known congressman into a national Democratic darling. And his timing couldn't be more perfect. 2020 presidential race is just beginning, and the Democratic field is wide open. Beto O'Rourke may have lost that Senate race, but honestly, his 2018, as he looks to 2020, couldn't have gone much better. Best come from behind victory, Kyrsten Sinema. Now, when we all finally crawled into bed on that very late night of the midterm elections, it looked like Republican Martha McSally was headed toward a victory in the hugely important swing state Senate race in Arizona. 6 days later, it became clear that Sinema, the Democrat, had actually won the Grand Canyon state race, flipping outgoing Republican Senator Jeff Flake's seat from red to blue. Sinema's come-from-behind win, and others like it for Senate Democrats in Montana and Nevada, gave the party hope that even after losing 2 seats in 2018, they can gain enough in 2020 to have a reasonable chance to take back the U.S. Senate. Best White House briefing room special guest, Dr. Ronny Jackson. Now, the former presidential physician, quite the year. First, he briefed the press about President Trump's physical health, which, in case you were wondering, is totally and completely perfect. 10 out of 10.
He has a lot of energy. He's 71 years old, and his bilateral uncorrected vision is 20/30. He's very sharp, and he's very articulate when he speaks to me. No concerns about his cognitive ability.
When asked how a borderline obese man on cholesterol-lowering medication could still be considered in excellent health, Jackson had this to say.
It's called genetics. I don't know.
Now, Trump liked that. What a surprise. So he nominated Jackson to lead the VA. That went less well. Jackson withdrew his nomination in April after a flurry of allegations about his professional conduct. Worst PR advice, Cindy Hyde-Smith's campaign team. Whoever told Cindy Hyde-Smith to stick to her statement after a gaffe in which she said of a supporter, quote, "If he invited me to a public hanging, I'd be on the front row." You did bad. That advice led to this epically cringeworthy public appearance by the appointed Mississippi senator.
Why people in the state should not see it as offensive.
We put out the statement yesterday, and it's available, and we stand by that statement.
Senator, are you familiar with Mississippi's history of lynchings?
I put out a statement yesterday, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
Yowza! Biggest surprise out of the Mueller probe, Paul Manafort's ostrich coat. Why tell you about Paul Manafort's $15,000 ostrich coat when I can show you Paul Manafort's $15,000 ostrich coat? Okay, I mean, it does kind of just look like a coat, but it was a $15,000 coat, so you know it's nice. Which is why prosecutors in the case against Trump's former campaign chairman worked very hard to show it to the jury as evidence of Manafort's lavish lifestyle. Maybe because of the coat, maybe not, but Manafort was found guilty on 8 counts of tax and bank fraud in August. Best instance of history repeating. Quote, but her emails, Ivanka edition. Now, if your last name is Trump and you work in the White House, the only thing you definitely can't do is use a private email address to do government business. It's simple, just that one thing. And yet, that's exactly what Ivanka Trump, eldest daughter to the president and senior advisor at the White House, did in 2017. When called on her private email use, Ivanka told White House officials, wait for it, she was unaware of the rules governing use of private emails to do official business.
So the idea of lock her up doesn't apply to you?
No.
Which, and I checked with science on this one, is literally impossible, given that her father spent the entire 2016 campaign savaging Hillary Clinton for using a private email server to do business while serving as Secretary of State. Serenity now. And here's one fun superlative fact that we need to end on. In 8th grade, I was named Best Dressed Boy. Here's your big takeaway. Superlatives are stupid and also very much in the eye of the beholder. And that is the point. We do this twice a week, every week, including in 2019. Check back for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.